Somebody said back, somebody said front. कुछ न कुछ करो मेरे भाई.
क्या बराबर?
समय चलता जा रहा है. समय भगवान है, किसी के लिए नहीं रुकते हैं.
Service of learning.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Aditya Ramdas, I'm serving in book distribution.
Okay.
And
Something to remember from last unit.
yeah, so we came to know that Jantu, the living entity in the belly of mothers, he prays to the Lord. But when he comes out, there is really Maya. The Lord is so powerful. He captures and he forgets whatever he has promised.
Good, very good. What did you promise?
That I will worship you, I will become your devotee, but then
Tasmadam Gata class. Atmanam Asukhamsara Sugatatani Bhuyo Yata Visharam Tad Anekarandaram Mame Vishyatu Sarata Vishnupada. Is exactly the promise he gave. Therefore, I will catch hold of Lord Vishnu's lotus feet and I will never make an activity which will make me enter into another womb. Mame Bhavishyatu Prasadita Vishnupada. Very, very nice. Very wonderful prayer. Okay, good. Now, how do we go? We go like this, huh? Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, my name is Bhavamay Nityanand Das.
Yes, Prabhuji.
I am serving in Puja department and some service in IVF.
Something to remember from the last unit?
The relation between the Jiva and the Supreme Lord is always there in any condition of the life and any form he takes. And Jiva prays continuously and he has consciousness of the Lord within the womb, but as soon as he came out, the Maya influences him and he forgets and he indulges in three modes of material nature.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. My name is Rama Govindas. I serve in Alvayo Youth ISKCON.
Yes,
The previous section, Kapil Dev explains about Jnana and other things, and Bhakti mixed with Jnana also. But among that, the pure Bhakti is the ultimate one. That is the only ultimate for one to get liberated and achieve the point.
Yeah. Kapildev explains three Sankhya into three parts: Jnana, Yoga, and Bhakti. But Jnana and Yoga, which is explained by Kapildev, is simply Bhakti. It is not an independent Jnana, independent Yoga. So it is simply Bhakti. Because Yoga is the Yoga Dharma at that time. So therefore he explained Yoga. Doing something to this.
No, recording.
Okay. So, but the Jnana which he explained in Kapila explained the Jnana, this basically Jnana which is actually Bhakti. Is not Bhakti mixed with Jnana. He simply explained pure devotion service. But he also explained contaminated devotion service, which is contaminated by the 3 minutes. Okay, good. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. I am Kurma Kripadas, serving in bus party, book distribution, Sankirtan. So, I am remembering Prabhuji, the Jiva who was in the womb, suffering very terrible situation. It was the environment inside the womb that is explained. And then he prays to come out immediately. But then when he understands that outside also there is influence of Maya, very strong influence. So he doesn't want to come out also. So in that purport, Prabhupada also explains that Maya is there inside and outside, everywhere. So at least we have got this human form of life, so we should not waste this. So by doing this process of Bhakti Yoga, so at least next birth, human birth will be there. In Sujana Shumatam Gehe. So there also you can continue practice.
Okay, good. Thank you, brother. Yes.
Chaitanya Sarup Das.
Hare Krishna.
I'm serving in the bus, Sankirtan bus. And one nice thing which I liked from last section was the stark reality, how a materialistic man, he kind of undergoes so much suffering earning for his family, and then family also at his old age, he doesn't support him. The treatment which he gets, and after he passes away, then the suffering the hellish suffering which he undergoes, that was very kind of revealing or
Graphic.
graphic situation.
Very nice. It's very good for you to understand this so that you can always remain brahmachari. Good. You should always remember. Sometimes you may think, oh, these grahasthas are having a nice time. Maybe, why not become grahastha? Then you go back to the chapter and read that this guy was dying and he was making sound gurra, 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 gurra. And nobody was even looking at him. They were treating him like a dog, and so then better remain brahmachari. Good. There's a good brahmachari treatment chapter. Okay.
Krishna, my name is Karnamrit Das, serving in accounts. So in the last chapters, we learned that this jiva, by his own karma, came to this material world, and he is suffering terribly, great birth and death. And in the womb, he remembers his last 100 years. But not all the jivas remembers this. Only some fortunate jivas are able to remember this last 100 births. And then he prays to the Lord. But after coming out of the womb, he again entangled in more material nature, and again he unable to remember the Lord. So for that, only pure devotional service, if you take shelter of the Lord, lotus feet of Lord, he can be able to surpass this material sufferings.
Okay, good. Thank you. Nice.
Hare Krishna. Myself is Radhakrishna Das. I'm serving my wife. Two things I actually remember. Lord Kapila, he came here. So he preached the Sakya philosophy. After finishing his verse, he left home because his reason, incarnation for giving Sakya philosophy to his mothers. Through her mothers, he is teaching to every living entity. And he also explained about the condition of jiva after death. He is going to hell if he, especially Griham, due to their attachment to the home, wife, children, he has to suffer so much. But Grahastha, if he worships Lord, then he will go to back to God.
Good.
Hare Krishna. My name is Sri Krishna Govinda Das. I am serving in Sankirtan. When Lord Kapila gave knowledge to Mother Dehuti, she became enlightened and she practiced that knowledge and she became liberated. She went to the abode of Lord Kapila.
Okay. Who's left?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare.
Please accept my humble obeisance. My name is Hayagriva Charan Das.
Hare Krishna.
I am serving in youth preaching, campus preaching here. And last Bhakti Vaibhav, I learned we learned about the different how yogis meditate upon Lord, different steps, Yama Niyama, Asana, Pratyahara, Dhyana, Dharana, Samadhi. How different is how yogis they struggle so much to meditate upon Paramatma. At last also they leave that and want to merge and they want to see the Paramatma. But devotees, glories of devotional service described there, how bhakti is so easy for devotees to meditate and they can always by engaging their all the senses in the bhakti process, easily they can attain the supreme abode, the abode of Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sadhu Charan Das, book distribution seva. By doing pure devotional service, we can totally defeat the material attachment. The important instruction given by Kapil Deva to Mata Devu.
Okay, good.
Hare Krishna. Vanachari Gopala Das. My service is in IVF. So the last session, few things I very much appreciated, that association of pure devotees. Hearing from them how Devavati got the association of his husband and later his son. And this hearing from them and enlivens us in spiritual elevation.
Good, nice.
Hare Krishna. My name is Vishnu Tatudas. Vishnu Tatudas.
Hare Krishna.
I am serving in youth preaching seva. And this section that how describes how living entity enter into the womb and how the his body is formed. So very scientifically Shastras explain, and now our science is proving that all this stages where the child is born. So a lot of faith giving that everything is already researched. We need not to research anything. Everything is provided by Lord through Shastras. Just we have to practice and fulfill the purpose. Prabhuji, I'm sitting here at the back. The AC doesn't suit my health, Prabhuji, so I sit at the back or outside, Prabhuji, then if it's too much AC. Thank you, Prabhuji.
You want me to speak? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Myself, Manoram Gaurangdas.
Hare Krishna.
I do youth preaching.
Okay.
And teachings.
And also audio adjustment.
Yeah. So, we saw that how Jivatma, when comes in this material world, so he was praying in the womb that I am suffering so much. But as soon as he comes out, he forgets his suffering. And then how he, in phases he goes. First he suffers in Tamoguna, inside the womb. Then in passion, he tries to get enjoyment from family life. Apta, Sutta, Dar, all they get entangled in that. And then he become delusioned. In illusion, he thinks that this only will give pleasure. And then he saw that suffering is coming. Their wife and children, they are not treating him well. He was earning first, so they will give respect. But as soon as he stops earning, then they keeps himself like a dog, Prabhupada writes, and they are treating him as a dog. Still the illusion does not go. The attachment to the family life remains. And then in that state only he dies. That attachment, there Prabhupada writes, that due to strong attachment, he did not understand only that they are not actual well-wisher. I have to attach to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then he went to hell and suffers like that. That all description is there. Hare Krishna.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Bol.
Panch Tattva Kripa Das.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, like two things basically from the last Bhakti Vaibhav. One was that Prabhuji was telling that the science of embryology is explained.
Yes.
So that is very much faith-giving, like it exactly matches with the current science findings.
Yeah.
And the other thing that the living entity which was remembering the Lord in the womb, so it was very grateful to the Lord, so much so that it was kind of fully trying to surrender and not forget him, not even come out so that it may fall into Maya. But then when it came out, when it forgot the Lord, then it got into regular materialistic activities and then suffered after that.
Okay, good.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hari Narayan Das, Prabhuji. Hari Narayan Das. So I serve in IVF, Prabhuji. So I like this point where Kapil Muni was explaining to his mother itself that you be careful, like to all he was saying that be careful of this Maya in the form of woman. Association of woman is so dangerous. He was explaining in verses association to one who is even attached to woman and to woman, how it is dangerous. And one who wants to advance in spiritual life should be careful for this.
Okay, good, nice. It's also mentioned that for woman, man is Maya. Okay. So generally, when I take class, I have one rule. That rule is that if the mobile makes noise in between the class, then the owner of that mobile should buy prasadam for everybody. So should we make that rule here, or everybody will end up buying prasadam for everybody else? Can we make that rule? Is it okay? Okay. अभी से कानून लागू है. इस मिनट के बाद किसका मोबाइल बजेगा वो सबका महाप्रसाद खिलाएगा. Okay, good. So thank you very much. So we will enter into brand new canto, which is the fourth canto. Fourth canto is very interesting. It's a very interesting canto. Every canto is interesting. And naturally, fourth canto is also very interesting. Can you read the farthest person? Are you able to read, Prabhuji? Very good. No. जब आप पढ़ सकते हैं तब बता दीजिए. Now we can read, right? Okay, good. So the general system is that we will have this book on the screen. Okay. So we will continuously read some translations, and then after some time we'll go back to read the purports of the translations. When we read the purport, that time we'll not read the entire purport. Some portion of the purport will be highlighted. So we'll just read the highlighted portion. And then once we read the highlighted portion, we'll initiate some discussion. We'll have some discussion. Sometimes we may do some group work. Okay. Sometimes we may do some drama. These things we may do in the course of these things if it demands. Okay. But most of the class would be like this, that we'll have the book and then we'll read translations and purports we'll read. Okay. That's how most of the class will be, right? Just because some portion of the purport is highlighted, don't misunderstand that is the only important portion in the purport. Please don't misunderstand. I want to make it clear in the beginning itself. If I have time, मैं purport का सारा एक word पढ़ लेता और सबको पढ़ा देता. किंतु we don't have time. We are limited by 5 days. And then we need to finish 7 chapters. तो ये तो express speed में जाना पड़ेगा. So, therefore, it is a professional hazard as Bhakti Vaibhav teacher that I have to highlight some portions. So, don't think only that portion is important. Every word of Prabhupada's purport is important. And every word of Prabhupada's purport deserves the same attention as some other word. Okay. But still, for the sake of doing the course, we are going to discuss few portions. It's clear? Okay. So please don't misunderstand that whatever is highlighted is important. Sometimes people think like that. Arey, highlight kya hua hai? Important hoga. So don't think like that. Okay. That's one thing. And the second thing is that let us have some order in reading. We'll just start like this. We go first row, then like this second row, then third row, then last, like that. Okay. It's clear? So try to maintain the same seating style as long as you are coming. Try to maintain the same seating style so that we don't confuse with the reading order. Okay. And naturally, you should know that you are the next person to read. Okay. That is the only way I can keep you awake in the class, because you know that you have to read next. Okay? So don't space out thinking that arey kaun padega, tang. Please be alert. When your turn comes, you read. Okay, it's clear? Okay. There is no separate question answer time. Whenever you feel like asking a question, just raise your hand and ask a question. It's clear? Sometimes I may stop in one place and then ask you that, do you have any questions? Then at the time you can ask question, but generally there will be no question answer time. Okay, so whenever you feel like asking a question, just raise your hand, ask a question, we'll just deal with it in the manner which it can be dealt with. Okay, it's clear? Generally we are supposed to start at 11. So today we started almost at 11:30. So you want to start at 11 or you want to start at 11:30? 11, clear, no? You want to start at 11, right? So that means you should come here by 10:55. Don't come by 11:05. Okay? Please maintain time. Because, you know, in Bhagavatam, second shloka of Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter, second shloka. Everybody knows the shloka, right? You're all scholars, right? Okay, chant the shloka. So in this shloka, the person who is not qualified to study Bhagavatam is explained, the person who can relish Bhagavatam is explained, and the person who is qualified to study Bhagavatam is explained. There are three types of people in this shloka. Okay, one fellow is unqualified, the other fellow is the relisher, and the third fellow is the qualified person. Who is unqualified? Yeah, one who is envious, who thinks dharma, artha, kama, moksha as the purpose of life. Okay, that fellow is unqualified to enter Bhagavata, because along with dharma, artha, kama, moksha, he is also kicked out. Dharma projita kaitava, thak, pravajitaha. Okay, okay, who is qualified? Nirmatsaranam satam. Nirmatsaranam satam. Why they are qualified? No, there is specific reason given why he is qualified. Huh? Yeah, that's okay, but there is a specific qualification which is given other than that. Free from envy has to be, otherwise, his specific qualification is he knows the absolute truth. Vedyam atra vastavam vastu. Vastavam vastu is the absolute truth. He knows it, Vedyam. He knows absolute truth. Okay. Therefore, not only his life is auspicious, he can cause auspiciousness to the whole world, Shivadam. And his association can uproot the threefold material miseries. Tapatraya unmulanam. Okay. So he is Mahabhagavata. He can relish Bhagavatam. He is the guy who drinks Bhagavatam. Pibata Bhagavatam, Rasamalayam, Muhuragorasika, Bhui Bhavakaha. He is Rasika. Okay. Now, third fellow, he is qualified to read, to study Bhagavatam. What is his qualification? Good speculation. There are two qualifications given of that person. Try to? You are like the answer is here, you are like half a mile away from the answer. But you are towards the answer. Yes? Yes, yes, now you are more nearer. Yeah, yes. Okay, now we came to the answer. One qualification is that he is eager to hear. What is the second qualification? No, eagerness to hear means faith is there. Not all eagerness, it's part of eagerness. Submissiveness is all part of eagerness. See, the two qualifications are kritibi and sushrushu. Okay. Atra kritibi sushrushubi takshanat. Okay. So the two qualifications of a sadhaka who hears Bhagavatam is he is Kritibi and he is Sushushu. Sushushu means he is very eager to hear. Okay? Kritibi means he is very pakka in his practice of devotional service. That's what Kritibi means. Someone said pious soul, right? So Prabhupada translates Kritibi as pious, but then he explains in the purport what pious means. He is not just Punyatma, he is a person who actually properly follows sadhana bhakti. Okay? So the qualification to study Bhagavatam is proper practice of sadhana bhakti and great eagerness to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. The only way to show great eagerness to hear Bhagavatam is to come on time. This is where we come back to. Okay? So, if you want to qualify to hear Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam demands that you come on time. It's not that I am saying you come on time. Okay? It's not my demand. Okay? It's not that I am saying that you have to be on time to my class. Okay? Whether you hear my class or you don't hear my class doesn't matter for me. I don't know Bhagavatam. I have come to learn from you. Okay? But Bhagavatam itself demands certain respect and certain attention. Okay? That we cannot deny because we want to be students of Srimad Bhagavatam, right? So that's what we want to be. So if we want to be sincere students of Srimad Bhagavatam, then we should respect the demand which Bhagavatam places in front of us. Because Bhagavatam is so great, we cannot tell Bhagavatam, I am a busy brahmachari, you don't know what I am doing, right? Because after all, what we are doing is we are trying to become Bhagavata, right? So therefore, these two things are important. What is that? Undivided attention and then eagerness to hear, which means coming on time, right? That's why I asked you very clearly. You want to start at 11:30, I don't have a problem. I don't want you to disrespect Srimad Bhagavatam. I am jobless guy. I have just come here to teach Bhagavatam for you. But this is your temple, you have many, many services, you are all very, very busy people. So I can be flexible to some extent for your convenience. But at the same time, I want to make sure that you people don't disrespect Srimad Bhagavatam. So I'm okay if you want to start at 11:30, I can start at 11:30. But if you all agree that we'll start at 11 o'clock, then what you should do? You should be here by 10:55 singing Hare Krishna, or Jai Radha Madhava, whatever you want to sing. You should be there, okay? Good. Clear? So rules are clear. 2 rules. What are they? Rule number 1, if your mobile makes noise, that means you buy Mahaprasad for everybody else in the class, right? Rule number 2, 10:55 you are here. No, come 5 minutes before time. 10:55 you are here, not 11:05, not 11:10. 10:55 you are here. Okay? Good. ठीक है. सब settle हो गया. Yeah. Yeah, eagerness to hear, no? Yeah. Kritibi means that one is very pakka in their practice of sadhana bhakti. That's what it means. That one should sincerely practice the elements of sadhana bhakti. So when one sincerely practices the elements of sadhana bhakti, and when one has great eagerness to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, then natural attachment for hearing Srimad Bhagavatam will appear in their heart. And natural attachment to chant the holy name also will come in their heart. Because chanting the holy name and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, they are non-different from each other. Even though in the beginning it looks like they are 2 different processes, but actually those 2 processes are non-different from each other. Holy name is Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam is holy name. Okay? It's clear? Okay, good. So we enter into 4th canto. What is the title of 4th canto? The creation of the 4th order. That is the title of the 1st chapter. Creation of the 4th order. What does creation of the 4th order mean? Okay, everybody is comfortable with English? या किसी को हिंदी का ज़रूरत है? Because I am Madrasi, my Hindi is very bad. Okay, but still, if you want, I can manage. So anyway, English is good. Okay, what is the creation of 4th order? Yes. Okay, any other answer? Okay, we have the 10 topics of Srimad Bhagavatam. Everybody knows, right? Can we chant? Chant. Okay. Atra sarga visargascha sthanam poshanamuteh manvantari eshanakata nirodha muktir ashreyah. So, if you actually see the titles of each canto of Srimad Bhagavatam which Prabhupada gave, what is the title of first canto? Creation. But that is Sarga. What is the title of second canto? Cosmic manifestation. That is Visarga. What is the title of third canto? Status quo. That is Sthanam. Sthanam. Okay. Now, this is creation of the fourth order. What is this? Poshanam. Okay. So, of course, Jiva Goswami says that all the 10 topics are there in all the cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. So, he says it is not necessary that we should assign one title to one canto. But at the same time, some acharyas have assigned titles to each canto. Prabhupada also assigned titles to each canto. There's some variation in those assigning of titles. Like, for example, sometimes fifth canto is understood as Sthanam. Yeah. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. So we don't have to really pull our hair with which title is the right title, which title is the wrong title. They're all correct only. There's no problem. Okay. But still, Prabhupada actually gave titles in two ways. If you see in his diary, he gave title in one way. But when he actually published Bhagavatam, he gave title this way. He started with Sarga, Visarga, Sthanam, Poshanam, Mutaya, Manvantara, Ishanukatha. That's how he went. Okay. So if you actually relate each canto title, you will see that they actually follow this sequence. Okay. So therefore, it is also good to examine the whole fourth canto from the perspective of its title, because title is representative of the content, right? When somebody gives a title, the title is representative of the content. So if you actually examine the fourth canto from the perspective of title, okay, then the title which Prabhupada gave was Poshanam, right? So how does Sukadeva Goswami define Poshanam in the 10th chapter of second canto? Anybody remembers? So he says Poshanam tad anugrahat. So okay, here. Go. You are not connected to internet. Gali de diya. कुछ है क्या? ये क्या है? This one, ना? लगा था. I'll be saved from remembering one more password. One more is required, na? वो एम कैपिटल हो गया. ठीक है. अभी क्या हो गया? या इसको कुछ करना पड़ेगा इलाज, नहीं तो मेरा गला खराब हो जाएगा. किधर है मेरे भाई? नहीं मुझे मालूम है किधर है. ये बस डिस्प्ले, मेन डिस्प्ले, मेरा बिल्डिंग डिस्प्ले,
मेन डिस्प्ले
ओके ठीक है. ओके ओके, sorry for the confusion. ओके इधर है. ओके इधर है. So, Sthiter Vaikuntha Vijaya Poshanam Tat Anugrahat Manvantarani Sadharma Utaya Karma Vasanaha. This is what it says. So, if you see in the translation and literation proper says Poshanam, maintenance, Tat Anugraha, his costless mercy. Okay. Now, in the translation, he explains it further. The right situation for the living entities, this is third canto. This right situation for the living entities is third canto. Is to obey the laws of the Lord and thus be in perfect peace of mind under the protection of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is fourth canto. Okay. So this is the definition of Poshanam. Obey the laws of the Lord and thus be in perfect peace of mind under the protection of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. This is Poshanam. So now he explains a little bit here in this. Okay. As such, it is the duty of all conditioned souls to acknowledge the victory of the Lord. This is third canto. Okay. This is what third canto deals with. This is exactly. Third canto is a declaration of the victory of the Lord. Okay. So, and thus become pure devotees and live peacefully in this world where miseries and dangers are always in existence. This is fourth canto. Okay. So, this is what Poshanam means. The conditioned souls who take this material creation as the place of satisfaction of the senses and are thus illusioned by the external energy of Vishnu remain again to be subject to the laws of nature, creation and destruction. This more or less summarizes what Poshanam means. Okay. So, the Lord does two things as part of his maintenance. Okay. One thing which the Lord does is that he maintains the material existence. He maintains the material existence. Within the material existence, he gives opportunities for somebody to go up, somebody to come down, Urdha Mula Madashakam, Akshatam, Praharavyayam, and Kanjam, Saparnani, Astam, Veda, Saveda, with all that you studied in Bhagavad Gita, right? So, there is this whole Vedic knowledge which deals with the maintenance of material existence, right? So, this is one way the Lord maintains. The other way the Lord maintains or nourishes, Poshanam also means nourishment. The Lord nourishes the pure devotional service of the living entity and then he takes him back to the spiritual world and maintains him there eternally. That is also Poshanam. Okay. So, fourth canto deals with both these opportunities and fourth canto deals with the challenges in both these opportunities. Okay. That's what fourth canto basically deals with. So that's why fourth canto can be called as Poshanam. So if you see in fourth canto, you will have okay, you have Daksha, then you have Dhruva, then you have Okay, Prutu. Prutu Maharaj, you have? Prachina Bargi. Okay. And then you have a little bit of Prechatas. Okay. So, if you see Daksha, the beauty of fourth canto is that in fourth canto there are no demons. Okay? This is the beauty of fourth canto. In fourth canto there are no demons. Whenever you get a pastime where there is no demons, you should become very interested. Why? Because that pastime mimics ISKCON. That pastime mimics ISKCON, because ISKCON also doesn't have any demons. Okay? You are confused. You are shocked. Stunned. Yeah. So, see, when ISKCON is a conglomeration of devotees, right? Some of them are very advanced, like all of you. Some of them are not all are advanced, like me. Okay? But we have to deal with each other, right? So, in the process of dealing with each other, then we will have many problems, right? Yes or no? Yes. Yeah, we'll have many problems in the process of dealing with each other, right? So then we need to solve those problems. So how will we solve those problems? We will solve those problems by simply seeing pastimes in Bhagavatam where there are no demons. Then in those pastimes, there are only devotees. And they are just dealing with each other. And they also have problems. And those devotees also solve their problems. So therefore, fourth canto is a perfect canto which teaches how to manage ISKCON. Okay. Every pastime in fourth canto is a wonderful management lesson in ISKCON. Okay. Because in fourth canto there are no demons, there are only devotees. And they are dealing with each other. In the process of dealing with each other, they are actually having problems and clashes and different interests, etc. Ultimately, they reconcile. So, fourth canto gives us good opportunity to actually study what kind of problems that we are having, where those problems are coming from, and how to reconcile those problems and practice Krishna consciousness peacefully. Okay. So therefore, the pastimes in fourth canto have direct relevance to our day-to-day life. Right? They are not like some distant happening somewhere. They are directly related to our day-to-day life. So now, if you see in the third canto, Kapiladeva spoke about contaminated devotional service. You remember? That I am exempted from the rule. I am teacher, okay? I always say teacher is exempted from the rule. Okay, so Kapiladeva spoke about contaminated devotional service. So, do you remember what he spoke about contaminated devotional service? Anyone?
Practice in modes.
Practice in three modes. Rajoguna Bhakti, Tamoguna Bhakti and Sattoguna Bhakti. So each of these practice in three modes have three qualities. Do you remember those qualities?
Difference in size, scene.
Separatist mentality.
They are all separatist. That is common because they are influenced by three modes. That's why they are all separatists. That's common. But they have three distinct qualities.
In mode of passion, it is motivated by name and fame. The Moguda, it is.
No. Like that, there are two more qualities. So this is your homework. Okay. All of you go back and find the 9 qualities, the three qualities which are meant for the three modes. This is very important. This is actually one of the most practical sections in Kapila Siksha. The devotional service in three modes. And what are the qualities of devotional service in three modes? Okay. Even if we actually wake us up at the middle of the night and ask us that what is the quality of devotional, what are the three qualities in devotional service in mode of ignorance, we should say ting 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 and then sleep. If someone asks what is mode of passion, we should say ting 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 and sleep. Mode of goodness, we say ting 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 and sleep. Okay. Why? Because many times we ourselves get contaminated by the modes. And then if we know the symptoms of this contamination in the tip of our hand, then we can clearly identify this is what I am doing is contaminated by ignorance, what I am doing is contaminated by passion, what I am doing is contaminated by goodness. If we don't know, that means we will never be able to identify. It is like going to cricket, going to play cricket, and then someone asks you, what are you going to do today? I am going to score 10 goals. That sound very intelligent? No, because you don't even know that you cannot score goal in cricket. If you want to score goal, you should play hockey or football, right? So you should know what you are doing. You should know what you are doing. This is International Society for Krishna Consciousness. You should know what you are doing. And if you want to know what you are doing, you should remember the symptoms of contaminated devotional service. If you don't remember the symptoms of contaminated devotional service, you will never be able to make out whether your devotional service is contaminated or not. If you say, no, Prabhuji, I already crossed that stage of contaminated devotional service. I am only doing pure devotional service. Very good. Then you should remember the 9 symptoms of a person in bhava. So there are 9 symptoms of person who are contaminated by 3 modes. There are 9 symptoms of person who is in bhava. So this is either, you should either know this 9 or you should know this 9. Ideally you should know both the 9. Right? You should know this 9 also, you should know this 9 also. This 9 you should know because you should not be here. This 9 you should know because you should be here. Okay? If you don't know, then better memorize it. Better memorize it. The 9 symptoms of person bhava, it is there in Nectar of Devotion. Okay? It's also there in Chaitanya Charitamrita. There's one verse is there. Directly NOD verse is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then the 9 qualities of contaminated devotional service, 3 in each modes, is there in the previous unit which you studied. So please, this is your homework that you should know these 9. We'll start with this. You should know these 9. So, Kapiladev explained the 9 types of contamination in devotional service, which actually interacts with the 9 devotional service, and then it becomes 81. Okay, Kapiladev explained this. So now, this forms the core subject matter of 4th canto. So you will find Daksha is devotee in mode of ignorance. Predominantly. Passion is there, but predominantly. Yes.
9 into 9, another 9 is
Navida Bhakti. Yeah. So Dhruva is mode of passion. Prithu is mode of goodness. Prachita Barhi is mixture of goodness and passion. Okay. So, due to this, all of them are envious. Due to the contamination of the modes, all of them are envious. Some of them are more envious, some of them are less envious. It's like some of their envy is like Prithamara's envy is very, very subtle. He's just thinking that why this Indra is only doing 100 Vasubhadaya, why can't I do? Then the Lord comes and nicely schools him. Okay, that's a different unit. But the point is that then we understand what nourishes material existence? Envy. Envy nourishes material existence. Okay. And what maintains material existence? Envy maintains material existence. So as long as one is envious, one will not be able to get out of the influence of the three modes, even if he is practicing devotional service. Even if he is practicing devotional service. So now, who saved Daksha? Shiva. Who saved Dhruva? Narada. Who saved Prithu? Brahma. And the Lord himself. And the Kumaras. Okay. Who saved Prachinabarhi? Narada. So now we get a very important principle. In order to come out of this envy, one should surrender to the spiritual master who is a pure devotee. So the Lord maintains Krishna consciousness through the agency of the pure devotee. Poshanam tat anugrahat. So the anugraha of the Lord comes in the form of the association of pure devotee. So therefore, anyone who wants to relinquish material existence should very carefully look for the association of a pure devotee who is the spiritual master. Now, how did this mercy? Okay. Problem ho gaya. Okay, that's good. Okay. How did Shiva give mercy to Daksha? Yeah, in the form of punishment. Okay. So, how did Dhruva get mercy? Austerity. Instructions he got, but the instructions were about tapasya, taking austerity. How did Prithu Maharaj get mercy? Association. Here, some heavy preaching. Okay, so this is the means of anartha nivritti for these different type of combinations. Like if someone is practicing devotional service in mode of ignorance, then his anartha nivritti will happen by punishment. Sir, cut jayega. His anartha nivritti happen by punishment. If someone is practicing devotional service in mode of passion, his anartha nivritti has to happen by heavy austerity. It has to happen by what type of austerity? Heavy austerity. If someone is practicing devotional in mode of goodness, simply by association, simply by good association, he will be able to transcend. There is not much is required. But if he is mixed with goodness and passion, then he requires heavy preaching. He requires heavy preaching. Some heavy duty preaching is required. Like Prachina Barhi was telling, finally I understood what you are saying. Okay, let my sons come back. Then I will, get them married. I will put them in the throne and then I will go. Then what Narada Muni told? You know what Narada Muni told Prachina Barhi? No time, man. Just get out. Just get out. Just get out. No time for you. You don't have to wait for your sons. You don't have time. Just get out. Run away from this place. Then Prachina Barhi understood, oh, I'm supposed to run away now, not wait. Okay, then he ran away. So a person who is mixed in goodness and passion, he requires heavy preaching. He needs a push. He needs a good push. He needs a good push. Here it's just association. The Lord came and told Prithu, Arey, why are you doing like this? You are not supposed to do this. I can understand Indra, but I can't understand you. Why you are doing like this? Indra is Indra, but you are Prithu, you are a great man. Why are you doing like this? You are a recognized devotee. Why you should do this? Then Prabhuji said, okay, I'm all right. So it's just simple association, nice, good, positive association. Here it is austerity. 1 month, what? 1 month of just fruits, 1 month of dry leaf, 1 month of water, 1 month of air, and then after that, stand in one finger like a column. So much of austerity, And here, straight away, sir kaat do. So therefore, it is very important to identify the symptoms of the contamination of 3 modes in our own practice of devotional service. And then voluntarily give them up in the association of a pure devotee. Otherwise, क्या होगा? इधर लिखा है. So, this is how the Lord maintains his devotees. Poshanam tat anugraha. Okay. So, this is what the 4th canto deals with. So, therefore, you have some good overview of 4th canto. When you study the entire canto, you can actually relate that how the Lord acts through the agency of the spiritual master in various ways. And then the beauty of it is that we will see that each of these personalities, when they undergo their purification, irrespective of what caused their purification, they are always grateful to the spiritual master. It's not that Daksha was punished, so he was not grateful to Lord Shiva. He was actually very grateful to Lord Shiva. We will see in the end of this unit. He was extremely grateful to Lord Shiva that Lord Shiva did not ignore him. He actually took mercy on him and punished him. So the punishment of the spiritual master is considered as the mercy. So in Bhagavatam, there are 2 instances where 2 opposite things happen. One instance is that Daksha does mistake and then Shiva punishes him. The other instance is Indra does mistake and Brahaspati does not punish him. When Brahaspati does not punish him, then Indra has to suffer heavily. This you will see in the 6th canto. When Brahaspati does not punish Indra, he just abandons him and goes away, then Indra has to suffer very heavily. He has to get twice Brahmahati dosha. And he had to go to Manasarovar and he had to live in lotus stem for thousands of years and do austerity. It was not easy for Indra. And before that, Indra had to be insulted by Vritrasura. So it is better to be punished by spiritual master than to be abandoned by the spiritual master. So therefore, 4th canto gives us excellent view of how to accept the mercy of the spiritual master. It also gives very excellent view of how interpersonal relations between devotees work when there are devotees of multiple levels of maturity are interacting with each other. So therefore, fourth canto is very important for us because it can teach us how to behave in the association of devotees, how to behave properly in the association of devotees. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
While we see in the case of Daksha, in spite of getting punished by Lord Shiva, he didn't leave his mentality of committing offense.
Yeah, because his previous offense to Lord Shiva was so heavy. It was so heavy. So therefore, even though the Lord actually appeared in front of him, in one sense, the Lord also did not give his complete mercy to him. And because of that, Daksha continued to have his offensive mentality. And he did curse Narad Muni. But Narad Muni did not take it seriously. See, Narad Muni did not counteract with Daksha. Right? Narad Muni counteracted with Nalakoyara and Manigriva. He cursed them. But Narad Muni did not think that it is necessary to deal with Daksha in that manner. Because Narad Muni understood that Daksha is already on his line of getting purified. So he did not deal with him very seriously. He just took that curse, he said, okay, this is very good for me, and then he just walked away. So Narad Muni always dealt with Daksha in a very friendly manner. Because he knew that Daksha already got what he was supposed to get, but his previous offense is still heavily acting on him, so he did not take him seriously. Anyway, he's practicing devotional service, he's doing what he's doing, he has seen the Lord, so he will eventually get purified. Like that, he left him and went.
Second question is to the envy that you said that unless it gets cleared off, it's difficult to transcend the modes.
Yeah.
So, what is the practical, you said in various ways associating with the spiritual master, so what are the practical things that I can do associating with the spiritual master? What does it mean?
It means that by association, one should understand that how spiritual master is dealing with everybody in a non-envious manner. How he is the well-wisher of everybody. Okay. Sometimes you may find different people who are inimical to the spiritual master. Even sometimes even disciples become critical of the spiritual master, or they become envious of the spiritual master. These things happen, right? But when you are in association with the spiritual master, you will be able to observe that how a pure devotee spiritual master is actually well-wisher of all of them. Like in case of Shiva, he is actually well-wisher of Daksha. But he had to deal with Daksha in a certain way because that's the only language Daksha understands. So therefore, he had to deal with Daksha in that way. And then when later Daksha came and dealt with him, he was very pleased with Daksha. He was very pleased with Daksha. So therefore, association with spiritual master simply means that you allow the activities and qualities of the spiritual master to influence the way you live your day-to-day life. That's what association means. Means that your day-to-day life is actually changing by his association. That is what association with spiritual master, association with Bhagavatam is meant to do to us. Like, why did I ask that what did you learn from the previous unit? Of course, it's a good way of starting the class. But then, that is what Bhagavatam is meant to do. It's meant to make a change in your life. If you read Bhagavatam today you should make some change in your life. And then if you read Bhagavatam tomorrow you should make some change in your life. That's how you should read Bhagavatam. That's how we should associate with devotees also. That if you associate with a pure devotee, today you should have made some little change in your life. You should have allowed him to influence some aspect of your life which needs a change. That is what association means. Otherwise, there is no meaning for association. Like Prabhupada says that the mosquito associates with the king by sitting on his lap. What is the use of the association of the mosquito and the king? It's just sucking the blood, right? So association means influence. And association means change. So that is why in second canto Bhagavatam you find that what is that heart which does not melt simply by studying Srimad Bhagavatam. That when we study Bhagavatam, especially when we do like deep dive in Srimad Bhagavatam, then every unit you study, your life should change. In some way it should change. It may be big change, it may be little change, but there should be a change. Otherwise, it's good. At least we are hearing, it's good. But it's not very good, right? It's not very good. So that's what it means. That we understand that how the spiritual master is dealing with people who are favorable and unfavorable to him, and simply trying to make everybody Krishna conscious.
So this by reading Bhagavatam consciously and so this will have impact internally, and after a while it will bring change, or consciously has to bring some small changes which may appear to be artificial.
See, there's nothing artificial. Not changing is artificial. Okay? In Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema, Sadhya Kabunai, Shravanadi Suddha Chitte, Karyavada. Right? So, it is natural to love Krishna. It is artificial to think that I have to love Krishna. You understand? Understand the difference between two? A sadhaka is thinking that I have to love spiritual master, I have to love Krishna, I have to love devotees. This is the artificial part. What is the natural part? The natural part is that you love Krishna, you love devotees. This is the natural part. Right? So, training to become natural is sadhana bhakti. Okay? So, that's not really artificial. You are just training to become natural. So, when you try, then mercy will flow. It's not that mercy will flow, then I will try. Right? There are two aspects, that you should try, and then mercy will also flow. So, even to try, mercy has to flow. That is the mercy which flows in the beginning. Like when you come in touch with the devotee, when you see the devotee, when you start liking the devotee, there is a mercy which flows in the beginning. And that mercy actually gives you enough faith to try. And when you are trying, then there's one more installment of mercy which is flowing. That is the change which happens in our heart. So both are there. Both are there. But if we don't try, then it becomes difficult. Because we are not showing. Like for example, may not be a good example to give to brahmacharis. Anyway, still okay. When a man wants to show off with a woman, to show that, he likes her, he tries to do something to impress her, right? He's going and standing in front of her, he's doing like this. Whatever he's doing, all nonsense he's doing, right? But he's trying something to impress her. If he just doesn't try, what's going to happen? Nothing is going to happen, right? So, even to, just attract the attention of a woman, if one has to try, then what to speak of attracting attention of Krishna and spiritual master? Attracting attention of a woman is an inconsequential aspect of material existence. Even for that, one has to try. So then what to speak of consequential aspect of existence, which is trying to attract the attention of Krishna and spiritual master. We should try. We should try to make changes. If you read the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which deals with the three modes, Prabhupada actually writes a very important point. Prabhupada says that one can train oneself in mode of goodness. Even though the modes are naturally acting and they are competing with each other, and one mode becomes more prominent at one time, another mode becomes another prominent at another time. But Prabhupada writes in that purport that one can train oneself in mode of goodness. So, look at, that's why brahmachari training is there. That's why all this is there. It's okay? Okay. It's 12:30. You're going to take a Gayatri break. 10 minutes Gayatri break. Until what time we are going to go? 1:30. And then? 2:30 to 4:30. Okay. So 10 minutes Gayatri break. We'll do Gayatri.